Okay, let's give you some practice. So here, given this function here, f of x equals minus 3 over x, show that this is true. So basically, find the inverse of this function here, and then put the inverse back into here. So basically, find the inverse, and then put the inverse back into here, and then tidy it all up, and it should give you x. So basically, given this function here, show that this is true, and also show that this is true here. And by the way, what this means is that if you have your machine here, if you have this here, f of minus 1 of x, x here, if what this means is that if you put the number, let's say 11 into here, then it will spit out the number 11. So that's what it means when you have, well, when you put x into this whole thing here, it will give you x. So what that means is if you put the number, let's say 7, into something like this, it would do its job. It would spit out the number 7. Okay, well, anyway, given this function here, show that this is true and show that this is true. So remember, you need to find the inverse first. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so first step is to find the inverse of this. So the inverse of this, so let f of x equals y. So we're going to say y equals minus 3 over x. So now it's just a matter of making x a subject. So so times both sides by x. So that equals this, and then divide both sides by y. So this equals this y here. Now remember, y is just our dummy variable. We're just going to use it and then throw it away. So now, well, that implies that where the f of, well, inverse of x, if the inverse here is equal to minus 3 over x. So basically, let's replace the x with, well, the inverse will be this. So going back here, hang on, going back here, the inverse is that same thing itself. Is the same as the original. So basically, it's an self-inverse function here. This is a self-inverse function. So anyway, this here. So hang on, this here equals minus 3 over x. Okay, so yeah, so given this function here, the inverse is really itself. This is a self-inverse function. So now if you try now looking at this here, we've got to put the inverse into the function. So what this is saying is that put the inverse into the function. So what this is saying is put the inverse into this x here. Okay, so let's try and do this here. So we are going to do this. Put the inverse into the original function. So it would be this. So it would be minus 3 over remember, we are going to put this whole thing here into the x here. So it would be negative 3 over x here. Oops, over x here. So it's like this here. This here is our x. Okay, so basically we've got minus 3 over x. Now it's just a matter of tidying up. Now after us tidying this up, it should just give us an x. Well, anyway, let's try and tidy this up. So here you've got a fraction within a fraction. So whenever you have a fraction within a fraction, visualize it like this: equals 3 minus 3 divided by negative 3 over x here. Let's turn this into a fraction. So it would be this. Now it would be this. Yeah, turn it into a fraction. Divided by negative 3 over x. Okay, and whenever you divide a fraction, so a over b divided by c over d, you basically times the reciprocal of this. Okay, so keep this the same. So that will be negative 3 over 1, but then you times the reciprocal of this. So basically it's this. Okay, merge the two together, so it would be this. It would be minus 3 times an x, and then you over minus 3 here. Now, because these two are exactly the same, they would kill off each other. Yeah, they're exactly the same. They kill off each other, leaving you x. So overall, this thing here equals x. Okay. So now going back to here, hang on, let's clear this up. Now we've got to show this now. So this time we're going to put this into here. Well, this, hang on, yeah, it will be the same thing here. This will be this. Hang on, it will be f of bracket here equals. Well, this time we are in effect putting this into here. So this will be minus 3 divided by negative 3 over x here. This is actually, yeah, putting this into this is exactly the same as this putting into this. Well, so I've pretty much done this earlier. What? Yeah. So in fact, they're both the same. Okay. Well, anyway, this thing here equals x, and this thing here equals x. Okay. If you don't understand what I mean by when we put this into here is the same as us putting this into here, well, just do it yourself. Just execute this here. So now put this into here and then follow it through. Okay. Well, in effect, it will be x. So this equals this, and this equals this. Okay.